This video is completely spoiler-free. Watch without worry. Alright, 4 more anime. 3, 2, 1, let's go. First up, we've got Suppose a Kid from the last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. This is a non-isekai fantasy series that follows a boy named Lloyd, whose life dream is to become a soldier in the Imperial capital. However, because Lloyd was the absolute weakest person in his hometown, he's developed an inferiority complex about his strength and constantly feels down about it. As it turns out though, Lloyd's hometown is actually in an extremely dangerous area, and everyone there is descendants of ancient heroes. So while Lloyd is indeed the weakest person in his village, he's absolutely OP by normal people's standards, and this leads to much hilarity. Basically, the series is like One Punch Man but in a fantasy setting, and if Saitama didn't know he was unrivaled. I think it's pretty entertaining, so if that sounds interesting to all of you, check it out when the first season airs in January of 2021. Funimation has licensed the series. Second up is Seitokai Yakuindomo, a sex comedy series that follows the 4 members of the Osai Academy Student Council, Tsuda, Shino, Arya, and Suzu, and their many antics. The series, while not ecchi or explicit in any way, is just full of sexual puns, sexual innuendos, and just general sex jokes. Tsuda, the main character, along with Suzu, are the straight men of the show that play off of the absolute sexual degenerates that are Shino and Arya, and basically the rest of their schoolmates too. Unlike the last series though, Seitokai Yakuindomo has had anime adaptations before. The upcoming installment that I'm excited for though, is the second movie, which after being delayed by a certain global situation, is finally premiering on New Year's Day 2021. In Japanese theaters, that is. When us Americans will get it is another question. Since I feel like the series is pretty niche, I'll explain the watch order for anyone who's interested in checking the series out. First is just Season 1, Seitokai Yakuindomo. Then next is the Season 1 OVAs. After that, Season 2, called Seitokai Yakuindomo *, love it. And then after that is the first 6 Season 2 OVAs, and then the first movie, and then the next 4 OVAs, and then, of course, after all of that, the upcoming second movie. And I'm sure we'll also get an 11th * OVA after that, since they've been releasing consistently with the manga volumes. Additionally, Season 1, Season 2, and the first movie were licensed by Sentai in what they call a complete collection. But given that they skipped the OVAs, which make up nearly half of the series, I don't think they're using that word correctly. But regardless, I think it's a likely Sentai licensed movie too, since they got the first one, and that we'll be getting it sooner rather than later. Next up, we have Jobless Reincarnation. I will seriously try if I go to another world. The title of which was of course changed in the localization, because why would the original title be kept, you know? Of course it was changed. And it was changed to Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, which for those of you who don't know Japanese, means that they kept the Japanese title, Mushoku Tensei, but then the Japanese subtitle, Isekai Itara Honkidasu, was replaced with an English translation of the main title, Jobless Reincarnation, giving us Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. This was obviously done because Mushoku Tensei sounds cool or something, but at that point, right, why not just keep the full Japanese title? Why include any English at all? Just give us Mushoku Tensei Isekai Itara Honkidasu and be done with it, you know? Anyway, after like 5 minutes of me complaining about title localization, you probably want to know what the series is actually about. Well, it is like the classic of classic isekai fantasy series that actually popularized many of the tropes that we see today, and it's just now finally getting an anime adaptation. It starts with a guy dying after, you guessed it, being run over by a truck. This guy is then reincarnated into a world of magic and sword as a baby named Rudius Greyrat. However, after being a disgusting sad sack neat in his previous life, Rudius is determined to do things differently this time. He's going to try his absolute best to live his new life to the fullest. Jobless Reincarnation is his story, the absolute fantastic story of Rudius Greyrat. I hope that the anime is as great as the manga, light novels, and web novel, I've read them all, and that you enjoy the series when it airs in, also January. Funimation picked this one up too. Now you may be thinking, after he just gushed that hard, what could he possibly be even more excited for? Well, the observant among you may have noticed that this video isn't titled 4 more upcoming anime adaptations, but simply 4 more upcoming anime. And that's because I absolutely had to talk about Be the Beginning, which is an original Netflix-made anime, not an adaptation, so last video's rules wouldn't have worked. Funnily enough, the second video I was originally going to make was actually about how I thought Be the Beginning Season 2 was dead, because there was some compelling evidence of such a conclusion. Firstly, we got confirmation of Season 2 back in 2018, specifically June 12th, 2018. That's over 2 years ago. And since then, we'd heard absolutely nothing about the show, not a peep. That is, until Netflix Anime Festival 2020, where Season 2, called Succession, was confirmed to still be happening. But that was only on October 26th of this year, 867 days after the initial renewal announcement. And yes, I know shows take time to make, so 2.5 years with no news doesn't necessarily mean anything. But the lack of news wasn't the only thing that worried me and made me believe that the show had been stealth canceled. What really made me think that this was the case was that the Be the Beginning Netflix profile icons, the first anime profile icons that Netflix ever introduced, are gone. They were removed. Now, why would they do that? Especially considering the show is actually getting a second season. I have no idea. It makes no sense to me. Have they done this for other shows? Whatever their reasoning may be, they're gone, and you can't use them anymore unless they're in your profile icon history, which some of them fortunately are for me. But I still hate that I can't choose from all 4 of them. Anyway, clearly I was wrong though, and Be the Beginning is indeed getting a second season, coming in, not January, but sometime in 2021, and I'm so excited. Okay, so now I have to sell it to you, right? What's so great about this series? Well, it's so plot heavy that I don't really want to give too much away, but basically, it's like a supernatural murder mystery series that follows this detective Keith Flick and also this kid Koku as they try to figure out what the hell's going on. For me, it has everything: plot, romance, fan service, and action, and great animation too. I'm so excited for the second season, and I hope you guys check it out. Season 1 is only 12 episodes long, so it's like an amazing one-day binge if you're into that. But anyway, I'm just so hyped, and I'm so happy it wasn't canceled. God, 2021 is going to be amazing. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, maybe drop a like, and if you loved it, maybe drop a sub. And if you're excited for any of these anime or any other upcoming anime, then let me know in the comments. If you missed my last upcoming anime video, then you can watch that if you want, or whatever else that interests you. There's a lot of variety on this channel. And our social medias are in the description too if you want to follow us there. Oh, and did you guys hear about the Star Wars anime news? It's going to be called Star Wars Visions, and it's going to be like 10 different anime short films from different animation studios. That sounds sick as hell. 2021, man.